It's actually, I will say this right now, it's actually getting harder and harder and harder to get reviews on Amazon. And as a new seller launching a new product on Amazon, you are your options for getting reviews now are getting less and less good, because Amazon has either tried to monetize something that was being done, I'll talk about this in a little bit more in a second, previously outside of its platform, and they've done a piss poor job of it, or they're doing everything they can, like I just posted in the group today all about a patent that's just been updated. They're doing everything they can to stop us as sellers getting access to what they believe is their customers' data, but what I believe is our customers' data. Now, we can talk at length about that. However, for this, what that means is white hat strategies have to be done alongside black hat strategies. I think now more than ever, you've kind of got to bend the rules here. So if you're watching this and you weren't around last week, I would say also watch last week's as well, where I went through all of the black hat stuff, okay? Because I think that, and I don't know if you guys were more experienced sellers, do you guys agree with that? I kind of feel like the white hat stuff now is getting certainly less effective, and the black hat stuff is kind of what you got to do. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think of that, and whether you agree with that, folks on my call tonight. Anyway, so let's get into it. So there's a few different strategies, and some of them utilize Amazon's own internal systems, and others utilize ways that we can kind of do the stuff ourselves, okay? So one of the ways that we can use Amazon, but this is just on Amazon.com, okay? Not available in Australia yet. It will be, I am told, by the end of the year, but right now it ain't, okay? So one of the ways you can do that is something called the Amazon Early Reviewer Program. That is $60 US dollars, only for the US market, so Amazon.com. You just sign up for it, and then they will send your stuff off to reviewers who will then review your product for you. Typically that gives you 5 reviews, so each review ends up costing you $12 to get a review, which is actually very, very cheap, much cheaper than it would cost you to use a review club, for instance. And that's a very good way of doing it. So it's only Amazon.com, which is a pain in the ass. It's aimed specifically at brand new products, so less than 5 reviews, brand new products. And you've just got to have, there's one other condition that's important, although it probably doesn't apply to us, but the product's got to be over $15 as well, okay? For us, for the most part, for the majority of people on this call, that's not going to be an issue, but just so you're aware of that. So there's that. That's one way that Amazon facilitates the through early review programs, okay? Another way, which is sometimes very, very effective depending on the category, is to request reviews from customers who have left you positive seller feedback, okay? Positive seller feedback. So customers often get confused about this sort of stuff. I'm going to give you a link. Send to all. Just while we got that up, let's get rid of that. What I've just sent you is this. So here's what I send them. If they've given me a seller feedback, which you actually do need, and it's actually really good to get that, but I want a product review because the product reviews generate more sales. Seller feedback tends to generate love from Amazon, and you can argue that that's good for your business. But in the short term, at least, you want product reviews. And so I send them this as a way of getting product reviews. Very, very cool. I've given you the link for that in the chat. If you are watching the recordings of this, then just ask for it, and somebody who is very, very nice will give you that, okay? So if they leave seller feedback, ask for product feedback, explain that they're different. Typically, 50% of the time, if you talk to them, they will, okay? So that's good. Next up, this is a little bit kind of creative, but anybody I do any kind of customer service with at all, so pre-purchase questions, for instance, technical support after purchase, returns for a product that is simply no longer needed, so there wasn't really a problem with the product, it's just that, maybe they ordered 2 or it was a gift or whatever it may be. Or if you're making an unhappy customer happy in any way, shape or form, then it's always a good idea to follow up with would you mind leaving me a review? Of course, you can't ask for a positive review. You're not actually asking for any exchange either, so you're within Amazon's terms of service, but it's a really good idea, given that you're communicating with your customers anyway, to ask them for a review, okay? Next up is using product inserts. And again, this is something that Amazon is tightening up on more and more. There are multiple instances now where black hat sellers were asking for feedback, but the way they would ask for feedback was be through a product insert. And on the insert, it would say, if you had a good experience, go here, aka, the seller product details page to leave review. If you had a bad experience, contact us. Now, that's actually a great thing to do, but it goes against Amazon's terms of service because Amazon wants to have good and bad reviews. Amazon wants to see that the product, if it was shit house, then it gets taken off by getting bad reviews. And so that's actually against Amazon's terms of service to do that. So you can't do that, but you can and should in your product include an insert, and that insert, typically the best thing to do is to get them in some way, shape or form to give you their email address. We could talk about the best ways of doing that at length, but it ought to be based on what your product is. It's no good offering a warranty, for instance, 6 months extended warranty for something that's going to run out in a month, like body lotion, for instance. That's just ludicrous. But you can and should offer a discount off the next purchase for a consumable product like that versus a tech product which is longer. Anyway, so definitely get their email address, and then you can follow up via email, which is outside of the Amazon architecture, so you can basically say what the hell you want and get your reviews that way, okay? So there's that. What's that, number 4? Number 5. Let's do number 5. So do product giveaways and discounted products. So by using steep discounts, you can get more sales for your products and increase the likelihood of more reviews. More sales equals more reviews. Typically 1 to 2% of people who purchase your product will leave a review, which is very, very small. But obviously if you're making more sales through a launch, you increase the likelihood that you'll get reviews simply by virtue of the numbers of being involved, okay? It's a numbers game, as they say. There's also as well, now, I am loath to show you this, however, I will show you anyway. So I think this kind of only just falls to all within Amazon's terms of service. It's a service called, and there's heaps of these. This is the most popular, rebate key. And effectively, what you do as a seller is you list your product on here. Let's have a look. Here's all the deals. So people listing their products on here, look, 100% off. Well, clearly they're giving away the product so they can get reviews, okay? That's what they're doing. They're giving away the product so they can get some reviews. Pretty simple. What they do is they buy the product at full price. So whoever uses his platform, they buy at full price and then they get the money returned to them. So as far as Amazon's concerned, it's a full price sale, which is good. But as far as the customer's concerned, they're getting all their money back. They're getting a rebate on their purchase. It does work well. I don't know how long this will be okay to do. I don't know how long these services will be okay to do, but right now it does work, and therefore I think it's important to at least let you know about it. What was that? Number 5. So number 6, this is only available if you're brand registered, which is another kind of feather in the cap for brand registry, and that's to use what's called the Amazon Vine service, where you can get up to 30 reviews. Now, they used to charge through Vendor Central, which is an old thing in Amazon. They used to charge $2,500 for this, but now through brand registry, it's free, and that's free no matter where the hell you are, all right? You get up to 30 reviews. I've had mixed results, not with the number of reviews, like you get your reviews, no dramas at all, but with the, let's just say this, the reviewers are very, very honest. So there is no incentive, there is no quid pro quo for them to give you a 5-star review. So I've had, 3-star reviews using this service, which you can argue is great for Amazon, but it's not exactly what I wanted. So, you've got to put it out there. There's nothing you can do about that. So that's Amazon Vine, pretty cool. And then the last one that is white hat is to use, so one of the things I teach you to do in the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs is to set up your Facebook page and your social media and all that kind of related stuff, okay? And the reason that you do that is because when it comes to launching your product, you'll be able to launch your product to the people who like your page on social media, your social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be. But you can also then, of course, take those people what like your page, launch to them, and offer them a discount, and then you can communicate with them to give you a review, okay? And again, you just want to be subtle how you ask for your reviews. You should ask for a review, but don't be like blatantly, give me a 5-star review kind of thing. But that's quite okay to launch that way and then follow up for a review. In fact, that works really, really well. So that is 7 white hat within terms of service ways of getting reviews on Amazon. Very, very cool. And again, just for complete transparency of what's actually going on, I actually believe that that you need to do both. I think you need to do certainly the grey hat stuff, like the first 3 that I showed you last week were grey hat, and I think you should definitely be doing those too. Now again, if you don't know how the hell to get to those, from the homepage, the latest Q&A, well, the latest Q&A is this week's Q&A, or last week's in this instance, and the Q&A archive is where you find old Q&As, and apparently there's some good stuff in there. If you can handle putting up with more of me, then there's certainly some great information in there too, okay? All right, so that, by the way, is in the new training modules, which we've now started uploading. You'll be delighted to know. So they're being uploaded, and some were uploaded yesterday, and more are being uploaded as I speak, hopefully, if my team are doing their things. All right, so reviews. Any comments on that, guys? Any kind of feedback on that? I know reviews can be a pretty interesting one. I've also, so I showed you the rebate key. Well, you can set up your own rebate key by doing using virtual assistants through Upwork to do that as well, which is basically what rebate key is doing. But instead of using rebate key, you're using another service. So you could do that as well. There's lots of options, but again, they are definitely, I think rebate key is erring into the grey hat area right now. I use as many different things as I can, including ManyChat as well. I didn't show you ManyChat tonight because it's pretty advanced. That's the sort of thing I kind of do in the inner circle. It is pretty advanced, but everything I've shown you tonight is something that you can do. And yeah, no matter what level you're at. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing. If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.